Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we defined some quantities related to the radiation. It is coefficient of absorption, reflection, and transmission. And we also derived the relation between them, that is A plus R plus T is equal to 1. Then we discuss about the thermalous bodies and diathermalous bodies. Today, we are going to discuss a very important topic which is called as the perfectly black body. Now, what is perfectly black body? A perfectly black body is a body which absorbs all the radiation incident on it. While we are discussing this radiation until now, we have taken account a ordinary body. Why? Because when a radiation, heat radiation or incident such ordinary bodies, some part get reflected, some part get absorbed and some part of it get transmitted. But what in the case of perfectly black body, all the heat radiation incident on the metal surface or any body, it is get absorbed totally, and the radiation which absorbed does not emit, so this body look like a black body. Such a body is called the perfectly black body. So how we can define this perfectly black body? Perfectly black body can be defined as the body which absorb all the heat radiation absorbed on it, and it emit the radiation when the temperature of the body get increased. Okay, now the simple example of the perfectly black body we can explain on the basis of a summer season and a winter season. What happened in the summer season? We wear the faint color clothes. Why? Because the heat radiation incident and they get reflected maximum and they get absorbed minimum. So in the case of winter season, what happen? We wear the cloth having dark colors. What about dark color? This dark color absorb the maximum heat radiation and reflect the less radiation. So in this way, this absorption of radiation can be explained on the basis of this perfectly black body. This perfectly black body absorbs all radiations incident upon it. Now, consider two type of bodies. Consider two type of bodies in which one body is painted with a black and other body is polished. So we can say that the body which is polished is reflected more heat radiation and absorb less radiation, and the body which painted black absorb more of the radiation, most of the radiation, and less radiation get reflected. So to keep the temperature of the body constant, if the temperature of the body is to be remain constant, it must be provided that the rate of absorption is equal to rate of emission. When this condition is satisfied, then the temperature of the body remains constant. Now we see the relation A plus R plus T is equal to 1. A simple assumption we can make from this equation, it is a good absorber is a good emitter. Good absorber is a good emitter. How? The more energy absorbed by the body, the more energy will emitted by that body. So a good absorber is a good emitter, and we can say vice versa. Poor absorber is poor emitter. Okay. So these are the assumption we can make easily, that when a body absorbs a maximum heat radiation, it can also emit the heat radiation. and if it is the poor absorber, it is a poor emitter. What happens in the case of reflector? A good reflector, what a good reflector is bad emitter. How can we say that good reflector is a bad emitter? The heat radiation reflected in the most quantity, therefore the absorption quantity will be less, and if absorb less, then it is a bad emitter. Though it emit less, it is a bad emitter, and vice versa. So these are the simple assumptions we can make by using the concept of perfectly black body. We revise the definition of perfectly black body. What perfectly black body says? Perfectly black body is the body on which all the heat radiation or incident get absorbed. And why it is appear black? It appear black because it absorbs the radiation, but it can't emit the radiation until we increase the temperature of the body. So it looks like a black body. So this is all about the perfectly black body. Then what is the examples of perfectly black body? In the nature, there is no such a perfectly black body appears. So a lamp black can be used as a perfectly black body which absorb nearly 97% of the heat radiation incident on it. An artificial perfectly black body can be formed by Fairy. The diagram of this Fairy's black body is shown here. We are going to explain this perfectly black body, how it works, and what is the construction of this perfectly black body. This is a double-walled spherical body in which there is a small hole or aperture. This aperture is for the entrance of the incident radiation, and exactly opposite to this hole there is a conical projection. This conical projection is exactly opposite to ensure that this incident radiation does not fall normally on this surface, on this inner surface. If it does that, it may happen that the incident radiation get reflected back out of this hole or aperture. So a conical projection is provided exactly opposite to the hole. What does it do? It does the multiple reflection of the incident radiation, and when the multiple reflections are takes place, the most of the heat radiation get absorbed, and we can use it as a perfectly black body. Now there is a double walled sphere in which there is a space which is a evacuated space, and the outer surface of this double walled sphere is silver polished, and the inner surface of this body is painted with a lamp black, so that most of the heat radiation incident on it get absorbed. Now when the incident radiation or incident are going through this hole, they are incident on this conical projection, and they get multiple reflection, and most of the heat radiation get absorbed, and this hole is act as a perfectly black body. There is a minimum possibility so that this heat radiation can come return in the reverse direction due to this conical projection and due to the lamp black. So in this way we can say that a perfectly black body is not occur in the nature, but this perfectly black body can be artificially made by using such type of principles in which a land lag is used for coating inside to absorb the most of the heat radiation, and the outer surface is polished with the silver. In this way, here we learn about the perfectly black body and the Ferris perfectly black body. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss the emission of heat radiation and the black body spectrum. What happens when the temperature of the black body increases? As the temperature of the black body increases, it emits the heat radiation with the maximum intensity. We are going to discuss this graph and we explain the assumptions, the inferences we are getting from this spectrum in the next lecture. This is for today. Have a good day. Bye.